I married the wrong person. Everyone said I was the luckiest man alive. They were all wrong. My name is Ethan Parker. If someone had warned me before my wedding day, I would have laughed. I believed my love story was perfect. I met Olivia 18 months before our wedding. She walked into a small bookstore wearing a light blue dress. She smiled at me after I helped her pick up a book from the floor. "Thank you. You're welcome." That tiny conversation changed my entire life. We met again the following weekend at the same bookstore. Then coffee became dinner. Dinner became long evening walks. Before I realized it, I couldn't imagine a single day without her. "Do you believe in destiny?" Olivia asked me one evening. I looked into her beautiful brown eyes. "I do now." She laughed softly and held my hand. Life suddenly became simple. Every morning started with her message. Every night ended with her voice. Even ordinary days felt magical beside her. 16 months later, I asked her to marry me. "Will you spend your life with me?" Tears filled her eyes. "Yes." "I thought you would never ask." Our wedding day arrived faster than I expected. Friends filled the church with laughter. My parents couldn't stop smiling. Olivia looked breathtaking in her white wedding dress. "You look nervous," she whispered. "Only because I don't want this day to end." Everyone applauded as we exchanged our vows. At that moment, I truly believed I had married the love of my life. Late that evening, we finally entered our honeymoon suite. White roses covered the room. Soft piano music played quietly in the background. Olivia smiled as she looked around the room. I walked toward the window for a moment to admire the city lights. When I turned around, Olivia was staring at her phone. The happiness had disappeared from her face. "Is something wrong?" I asked gently. She immediately locked her phone. "No, it's nothing important." But her voice didn't sound normal. Her phone vibrated again. She looked at the screen and suddenly became pale. "I'll be back in a minute." Before I could stop her, she hurried out of the room. The door closed behind her. 5 minutes passed, then 10. Olivia still hadn't returned. I noticed her suitcase was slightly open beside the bed. I only wanted to close it before it fell over. As I reached for the zipper, something slipped onto the floor. It was an old photograph. My hands began to shake as I picked it up. Olivia was smiling beside another man. Between them stood a little girl holding both of their hands. They looked like a happy family. My heart felt impossibly heavy. Who are these people? I couldn't stop staring at the old photograph. My wedding ring suddenly felt heavier than ever. Olivia was smiling beside another man. The little girl was holding both of their hands. They looked like a real family. I quickly turned the photograph over. There was no date. There were no names. Only one sentence was written on the back. "Some promises can never be broken." I read the sentence again and again. Nothing made sense anymore. Just then, the hotel room door slowly opened. Olivia walked inside. The moment she saw the photograph in my hand, her face turned completely white. "Ethan, please give it back." I had never seen fear in her eyes before. "Who are they?" I asked quietly. Olivia looked down at the floor. Tears slowly filled her eyes. I can't explain it now. My heart began beating faster. Can't or won't? Olivia started crying. "Please trust me. I never wanted you to find it." Her answer only created more questions. "Is he your husband? Is that your daughter?" Olivia immediately shook her head. "No, it's not what you think." I wanted to believe her, but the photograph was still in my hands, and photographs rarely lie. The rest of the night passed in complete silence. We slept in the same room, but it felt like we were worlds apart. The following days became strangely different. Olivia smiled less. She spent more time checking her phone. Sometimes she quietly walked outside to answer calls. Every time I asked who was calling, she gave the same answer. "It's nothing important." I stopped believing those words. One rainy evening, her phone rang again. She looked at the screen and quickly picked up her coat. "I'll be back soon." This time, I followed her. I hated myself for doing it, but I needed the truth. She walked into a quiet cafe across the street. I stayed outside the window where she couldn't see me. Then I saw him. The same man from the photograph sat across from Olivia. My chest tightened. They talked for several minutes. Olivia suddenly began crying. The man stood up slowly. He gently hugged her. At that moment, my heart completely broke. I turned away before they could see me. Every step felt heavier than the last. Only one sentence kept repeating inside my head. I really had married the wrong person. Just before I disappeared around the corner, I heard the man say something. "She still doesn't know the truth." I couldn't sleep that night. The man's words echoed inside my mind again and again. She still doesn't know the truth. What truth? And why was everyone hiding it from Olivia? The next morning, I made a decision. I didn't want more lies. I wanted the complete truth. "Olivia, no more secrets. Tell me everything." Olivia slowly looked into my eyes. Tears were already rolling down her cheeks. "You're right. You deserve the truth." She carefully took the old photograph from her bag. Her hands were shaking. "The man in this picture isn't my husband." I remained silent. "He's my older brother, Daniel." My heart skipped a beat. "And the little girl? She's my niece, Emma." Nothing was making sense yet. "Then why did you hide them from me?" Olivia closed her eyes. "Because my brother begged me to." She took a deep breath before continuing. 3 years ago, Daniel's wife died in a terrible accident. After that, he became Emma's only parent. Then a legal battle started over Emma's custody. I listened without interrupting her. "The lawyers told us to keep everything private until the case was over. Daniel didn't want anyone connected to the case to know about our family. Even after we got engaged, he made me promise not to tell anyone, not even you." Suddenly, every late-night phone call made sense. Every secret meeting made sense. Every tear finally had an explanation. I felt ashamed. I had judged the woman I loved before hearing her truth. "Why didn't you trust me?" I asked quietly. Olivia looked down. "I wasn't afraid of losing you. I was afraid of breaking the promise I made to my brother." At that moment, someone knocked on the door. Olivia opened it. Daniel was standing there with little Emma. Emma ran toward Olivia and hugged her tightly. "Aunt Olivia!" Daniel slowly walked over to me. "I'm sorry. This was never supposed to hurt your marriage." I looked at Olivia. Then I looked at the little girl beside her. For the first time, I saw the whole picture, not just one photograph. I gently held Olivia's hand. "I'm sorry. I believed the photograph before I believed you." Olivia smiled through her tears. "We're both learning. Marriage isn't built on perfect moments. It's built on trust." I smiled for the first time in days. Then I finally understood something that changed my life forever. I didn't marry the wrong person. I almost became the wrong husband because I chose suspicion before trust. Sometimes the biggest mistake isn't marrying the wrong person, it's believing the wrong story before knowing the truth.